Okay, this is a walkthrough of the Kodi 17 build that I install on the devices that I sell. And this will give you a pretty good idea of how to use the build. It's very simple. Let's go ahead and get started. So right here in the center, when the system boots up Kodi, you're going to come up to this screen right here, which is the movies section. As you can see, I have some widgets right here on the top, and this first one here is Exodus New Movies, and you can see you can just scroll to the right. You can see tons and tons of movies. These are all are going to populate as far as the new movie category. If you get to the very end, it says next page, and you click that, then essentially you'll go to a menu that then you can go ahead and continue to browse movies, and you can see the fan art popping up on the right hand side. The very top widget up here is Zen Trending Movies, and sometimes they'll be somewhat similar. It's just a different source, but the nice thing about whether you come up here to the Zen or you use the one down here is that these are all point and click. So if I wanted to get Sing to come up, I would just point it or highlight it, as you can see, click it, and then the system will go out on the internet and try to find the best quality stream for you. And I have configured it such that you won't get any more of those what they call CAPTCHA providers, which is the ones that we have to do the pairing from the website. And as soon as it finds one, hopefully it'll give you an HD, it'll just start to play. The reason it says resume here is because obviously I was watching this movie before when I was doing some testing. And if I just click resume, or I could have done start from the beginning, then you'll see that the movie starts to play right away. So that's in the movie section, and this bottom wheel here has all the other movie add-ons that I include in the build. So if you have a problem finding a movie up on top, then you can come down here to these individual movie providers. One other thing you can do is I did include a movie search. So if you click on movie search and you type in a movie, I'll put in one of my favorites from the old days, Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks. You'll see that they pop up. You just go ahead and once again click it, and as you can see, it'll start scanning for providers. It already found one in HD, which is great. Now it's finding more. The three numbers you see there, the one on the far left is for 1080, the one in the middle is for 720, and the one on the right is for standard definition. So same thing, I had with this one, I test with a whole bunch of movies, and there you go. Okay, so that's the movie search, and like I said, all these, if I've gone through each one of these, make sure that they work properly, you can pretty much find any movie whatsoever that's been out there. Now we move to the next section, TV shows. It works exactly the same way as the movie section. You've got Exodus People Watching widget up here. You can just scan until you find something you like Games of Thrones. And then here you got to pick your season. So let's say we pick season 6. And I'll just pick Broken Man. And Exodus will go out there and again do its thing. Find the best quality stream. And you can see found an HD stream there. It goes ahead and starts playing for you. I'll go ahead and fast forward it a little bit. And you can see that the quality is really, really good. Okay, so that's how the TV section works. And again, you have an upper widget up here for Zen. It's the same thing. You just scroll to the left till you get to the end. And then in this particular case, you get a little arrow. If you just click that arrow, then it'll go ahead. Oops, I guess I clicked the wrong thing. If you click that arrow right there, then it should come up to the next page of TV shows and so forth and so on. The best way to search for TV shows is, again, if you come down here to the bottom wheel where I have the additional TV add-ons, you can use either Exodus or Zen. And I have mentioned this before, I actually expanded the menu so that you can see more options now. And you can see down here at the bottom it says search. So if you wanted to find a particular show from the past, I mean, I don't know, Charlie's Angels. I always like to use old shows because that highlights the fact that, hey, you know, you can pretty much get whatever you want. And I'll just pick, I don't know, that looks like a good scene. Now, as you can see, it's only picked up 6 SD streams. On the very old shows, you're not going to have a lot of high definition because there was no high definition back then. But it did found 10 standard streams. And this is a particular provider that is requiring us to pair. And as you can see, I'm doing this live, and I'm not going to go ahead and pair this right now, but I had changed some settings that would not make this come up, essentially. So it looks like I still need to do a little bit more fine-tuning, but there is no harm. You can go to http://api-streaming.to/pair and click a little button on there that says pair. Sometimes it has a, you know, I am not a robot button that you got to hit. And then this will start to play for you. Sometimes you can just click it like I did right now, and it'll just move on to the very next stream, and it'll start playing from it. So I'll go ahead and look into that. That's a good catch, and I'm glad I found that while I was doing this video so that you can all see exactly, you know, kind of what happens. It's primarily with the older shows. I found that some of the providers for those are very few and far between. So essentially, it's going to require you know, that you do that capture. So that's probably the reason why I did it, just because it's just one of those older shows. But as you can see, because I talk too much, it looked like it finally skipped to a stream that is going to play it. Let's give it a few seconds and see if it's actually going to play.
Once upon a time,
how about that?
Little girls who went to the police academy. One in Los
Back in the day, it
Angeles.
was a great show. We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit. I probably shouldn't have done that because on these older shows, the fast forward doesn't work as great. But well, there you go. Okay. So you get the idea how that works. Whoops. Okay, now the next section over is the kids section. I mean, it works exactly the same way as the movie and the TV shows. I've got Zen Animation here. Got a lot of good movies. And then at the very top, we have cartoons. And at the very bottom wheel, I added a bunch of kids add-ons. I mean, you can spend hours and hours and hours going through all this. I think the very last one that I added was this one here called Big Kids. And if I go ahead and click on that one, you can see that you've got cartoons and movies. You can search cartoons, search movies, and you even got a 24/7 channel. Those are pretty cool if you haven't seen those. Essentially, like it says right there, random cartoon, and you just click it, and away it goes, and you know you can put your. And as far as the kiddos are concerned, I'll tell you they don't care if it's old. To them, it's all new, and they'll enjoy it just fine. Okay, so that's it about the kids section. I do got the Disney collection. I took off the Pixar because that add-on was not working properly. So as soon as I get that one working again, I'll go ahead and put that one back on. Here's the sports section. Pretty straightforward. I think I have mentioned to many of you that live TV, live sports is kind of a fickle area. You need a very good internet connection for it to work. This particular add-on here, Pro Sports, is probably the best one out there. And in the Reddit here, I also include some additional streams. And, you know, it's hit or miss. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. The archive is pretty nice, though. If you go into the archive, I think I've showed you this before. You got NBA, NFL, and NHL. This archive usually is all HD streams. And if you missed the game, it's a great resource to go back and watch it again. Here on the bottom wheel, I got UFC, I've got Sports Devil, Phoenix Sport, Bob Sport. Bob Sports for UFC pay-per-view for free. It's probably the best one. You just come down here to main event, and he'll usually have it in there. There won't be nothing in there right now because there's nothing going on right this second. But that's where you would go. And the UFC add-on is absolutely amazing for all the past fights, all of their UFC, their big events and whatnot. And I've been having a small issue with the menu on this one. So you got to sometimes, if nothing comes up, and this applies to any other add-on, just click to the left. Bring your left arrow to the left, and then you can change this icon view to list or icons, and usually that'll bring it back. I still have to play around with this and see why it's doing that, but it's a great add-on, and there's a lot of content in there. Live TV, again, I've included a lot of free ones. I cannot show you this Mobdro TV because I am doing this video on my Macintosh, but Mobdro is an application that I load onto all the devices, and it has hundreds and hundreds of channels. The Players Club is a brand new one that I just loaded. I'll show you that one really quick. It's got a kind of an annoying little problem right now, which didn't occur right this second, but the keypad to put in the code for the adult stuff was popping up, and you just click OK. If that comes up, these channels will still come up. And as you can see right here, it says A&E HD. It's pretty good quality. And they got a lot of channels in here, and I think that you should be able to get a lot of good usage out of this one. And you can see that they're you get that little pop-up, the code is 1234 if it happens to come up. I mean, I've just been able to click right through it with no issues. I'm going to leave it on there because the other add-on, the Suicide, they just completely have gone down, and I get a little annoyed with that. So Pyramid's good, CC Cloud is good, and then here's Gears TV. I think I put my username and password before. Yes, I did. So a few of you have wondered how this works. There is a guide that you can put on there that works kind of like a TV guide. I don't use it myself, but other people's do. So this is the main menu. You see you get all the pay-per-view fights. You get all of the USA channels. You get UK channels. You get Canadian channels. Right now, their NBA is going on, so you get the NBA League Pass. You get the NHL games. Major League Baseball is going to start up in a couple of weeks, so they'll go ahead and add that here. This is a paid subscription, so this is going to cost you $15 a month. I think it is very, very well worth it. All the channels are in HD. All these yellow ones you see right now that say reload it, those are going to go away because they're launching a different channel. But just take a look at these. Are pretty much everything and anything in broadcast. And I think that if you find a channel that is not on here, I'd be surprised because they pretty much have everything. And just to give you an idea of the quality, I'll go ahead and hit HDTV. Every single channel is in high definition. And if you come here to this little icon, you'll see, oops, this one here says 1080p. Oops, well, right there, I can't point to it, but it says 1080p. You can see it on the very top, which is very, very high resolution. With them, I'm just the user, but I do include the add-on. And essentially, when you get it, if you click on that, you do need to get a username and password. Just hit me up on Facebook, and I'll give you their Facebook page, and then you can go ahead and sign up. Favorites is for any channels or programs or movies that are really favorites of yours. You just hit your contacts menu on your remote. That's that little button that looks like a hamburger or 3 lines, and you'll get a menu that comes up. And here, I'll show you really quickly how that works. Let's say that let's say this one here. Well, no, it's going to play the movie. So let me go into one of the add-ons. Let me go into Bob's. And let's say that I really like, I'll just pick Blues Kids. And let's say that this one here, Furry Friends. Now, if I hit on my Mac, I'm going to hit a different key, but on your remote, you hit that little 3-line button, and you get this menu, and all you do is say Add to Favorites. Now, when you come back out here and you go to the Favorites bar, and you click it, now they're right there. So it's basically a shortcut. Where this really has a good application is when you're in live TV and you're going through like Pyramid or Players Club or Mob. Well, Mob Drill won't work, but all the other ones will, and you can save your favorite channels and stuff right to the favorites folder. With Mob Drill, it has its own built-in save for favorites. Again, I'll probably do a separate video on that because it is a very cool standalone application, and I think that you will find it to be very, very, very nice. The next section is add-ons. This is just where all the different add-ons that I have loaded on reside. I suggest not messing with that. Same thing with this settings is what I use to configure the build. The only thing that I always tell you that if you start getting buffering or the system is a little slow, do a speed test. And when you do the speed test, it will tell you how fast your wireless is going. And if it's anything less than, say, 10 megabits or 10 megabytes, it's probably going to be a problem. And you can have 50, 100 and still get 10 megabytes because you can have interference or something like that. So that is the first signal if or not your system is being slow. And you can also here see on top of the add-ons words, memory used and system CPU usage. Now I'm on my computer, so I only have one CPU. Your Fire Sticks have 4 CPUs. Some of the Android boxes have 8 CPUs. If that thing's pegging at 80 or 90% on all CPUs, your stick or your whatever device you have is going to be running slow. It would be very difficult to troubleshoot why it's occurring. Sometimes those things just happen. What I would suggest at that point you do is just pull the plug, wait a few seconds, plug it back in, and then you should be okay. Finally, power screensaver. If you just click screensaver, it'll be in screensaver mode, and if you come down here to quit and hit quit, it will actually quit out of the program. I always suggest you do that because Kodi will close out all of the open threads that it has, and as you can see, I'm on my Mac, so this just came up on my main screen. And then I just click it and load it back up, and away I go. But that's it. That's the walkthrough on the video. If you have any questions, shoot me a note over Facebook. I think that we've been doing pretty good with the updates. I haven't had too many complaints from anybody. I hope that you're all enjoying this, and if you have any suggestions on improvements and whatnot, please do let me know. I will be more than happy to accommodate if I feel it's something that everybody can benefit from. Thanks, and have a good day.